3, 2, 1.
Woo! 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 Oh, show!
Oh,
Oh, my God, the kitchen table and the computer just shook.
That is,
No one was mad that you cut the whole... You go anywhere! What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5... You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
That Dallas.
What did I...
You know, when that's like part of my Christmas...
Hey guys, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. We always laugh. There he is, the GTA Valet, starting off the show with the choking session.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Yeah, we're the real life Peter Griffin and the GTA Valet take over, or aka JACKYSANGRIA, the serenader of the Bethesda online players.
That's true. Yes. I'm still trying to figure out how to stream that at some point. We should just have a cough off where we.
The Elder Scrolls.
You can hit this, and you think I cough bad? Listen to how he coughs.
Oh, I'm terrible. My lungs are fucking done. It's over. But welcome to the show, guys. We're down to 2 today because everybody else is busy, but we didn't want to skip the week because we only gave you guys a stream last week. So we're like, fuck it. We're going to do a show. And
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Fuck
thing
it.
sucks. And shout out to Vin for making that awesome intro. We played it once before during WrestleMania, but that's our new intro.
Hell yeah.
It's better than the little hexagons flying through space.
The Royal Rumble that was based off the Royal Rumble from I forget what year it was. It was
The Royal Rumble from 2000.
definitely wasn't from 2000.
Wasn't from
That was the best one. Yeah, no.
Hell's in the
definitely.
house.
Hells is here.
Welcome,
Our
Hells.
Friendly neighbor, your friendly neighborhood mod of the chat. He's now pretty much part of the show, if you think about it.
Yeah, he's part of the show. He's also a part of my show because he also helps me mod my streams on Wednesday nights. So thank you so much, Hells. And he's also been watching me. Probably the first subject that I want to kind of bring up because I can't stop. That's kind of what's taken over my life.
Wait.
So
I almost wanted to save that.
You want to save
Because
it?
that's going to be the meat, I think. I
The
wanted
meat and
to.
potatoes.
I want to throw a total curveball at you. I'm sorry to do this, but
All right,
I did
let's hear
tell
the
you I was
curveball.
going to do this. Kendrick Lamar or Drake? Whose side are you on?
I don't like Drake. I don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, but I just don't
You know who
like
Kendrick
Drake.
is?
I really don't.
You know what? You know when we play GTA and there's that one song, fuck that.
No, I only listen to West Coast classics of
That's
fucking
on.
Rebel
I
Radio.
think that's on West Coast Classics.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Ah, well, Kendrick has. He did the Black Panther soundtrack,
Okay. All right.
which was a phenomenal.
I mean, it's
album.
not. I'm not taking away from the guy. I
No,
just
no,
don't know
sure.
who the guy is.
No, you said what I needed to hear. I
but
could never
I
take
just,
Drake seriously.
I just don't like Drake.
Never was a fan. Could never take him
Guy's
seriously.
a fucking weirdo. You know, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I got no skin in the game, but I just don't like one guy, so I'll just by default go for the other guy.
Well, have you?
I heard he got creamed. Like it's fucking terrible. Like he tried to fire back, and the other guy hit him with a machine gun. And the
You
other guy
haven't heard
had a
any of the
water gun.
songs?
I didn't listen to any of them. You know.
It's good shit.
Not to say I don't like hip hop and all that kind of stuff, because I'm a big '90s hip hop fan. Biggie Smalls being my favorite. I
No,
like
but
Nas. I like fucking Tribe Called Quest. I like Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, there's a even Regulators, of course. You know.
But in all reality, you've been trapped in Fallout.
I have been trapped in
He's
Fallout.
been totally not to step
I've been
on your line there, but that's what we're going to talk about.
That's the meat and potatoes.
But that's just to give you an idea for everyone else out there how out of touch he is with the world right now, because he has been so into Fallout, which is an amazing thing because there's videos, there's Grinds My Gears where
There are.
you hate Bethesda games.
Yes, it's true.
And it all really stems from this traumatic event of the Yeti in Skyrim.
Among other things, I will no. So my first strike against Bethesda was actually in Oblivion. So I tried playing Oblivion.
It's my favorite one.
And there was some kind of fucking mission where you got to save this lizard guy from being sacrificed to these like cultists and whatnot. So like you pretend to join the cult to like get there, and then you ultimately see like the main bad guy for the entire game, like talking in this altar, and then he fucking disappears. And then you're supposed to fucking save the guy and then grab the book. Otherwise, if you grab the book first, then some kind of shit falls on the lizard guy and kills him. And then he's supposed to like run out and like get you out of there too. So I was over encumbered, I guess, because of like the heavy armor I had. So the fucking lizard guy keeps outrunning me and getting killed by every fucking cultist that's left in this thing. So it got to the point where I spent
the Red Dawn.
I spent 40 minutes. No, longer. It had to be like 2 hours. 2 hours clearing out this whole fucking cave. I killed every living being in this cave, and then rescued the fucking lizard guy, and then took the book. And would you know, the fucking door won't open? The fucking door won't open to the cave that I was in. And I could not get out. I couldn't get out. I couldn't progress. There was nothing else I could do. The game glitched out to the point where
that's like the beginning of the game, though.
I was so aggravated by that. I ended up returning that game to fucking GameStop or wherever the fuck I got it from. I got my money back. And then Skyrim came out. Everybody was hyping it up, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I says, I'm a fucking idiot, but I like high fantasy. I was going to try it out. I got that game. I had the whole Yeti thing, but the Yeti was one thing, but then the fucking, that cocksucking wizard that wouldn't let me fucking get the thing for the whatever mission, and then I had to kill him, and then the whole fucking village is trying to kill me, and I was like, fuck this whole cocksucking thing, because then my follower keeps dying. I was very aggravated with that game. Then Fallout fucking, I think, New Vegas comes out, and Anya tries to get me to play that. I'm not digging that game. I don't know. I'm just not having fun with it. Then there is.
Damn, your friend is getting acknowledged by everybody tonight.
Fucking, because he's dressed like Macho Man from the 90s. It's my friend Ruby Renesco, dressed like Macho Man, for anybody that's watching SmackDown right now.
He was acknowledged by Jade Cargill, and then Randy Orton's coming out, and he just looked at him, and he just, like, kind of laughed. He was like, Jesus.
Yeah. But, so I had the sour grapes with that. And then...
Wait, what was the sour grapes for Fallout New Vegas?
I just couldn't get into the game. I wasn't enjoying it.
Okay.
Was
it already older though when you started playing it? Like it's a classic that you have to play, or was it?
I don't know. I was playing it on the PC. Like I would say it was probably the year 2021 that I was trying that game out.
Fallout New Vegas is old.
Yeah, so
older.
Anya was streaming the game or whatever the fuck, and I was like, then, I guess I gave the chance to Starfield. I enjoyed Starfield for the time I played it, but I got kind of bored with it pretty quick. And then this new Fallout show came out, and I was very into the show. I knew that there was like good lore behind the game. I found that the game was a little too difficult for me personally. And when everybody was playing it, all of our friends were hopping on PlayStation playing it. You know, I was kind of watching our friend Little Joe play the game, and I was kind of digging it. And then he got some stuff that was intriguing to me, like the Grognak axe and the armor and stuff. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, and that kind of inspired me. I was like, what if I was like Thor in that game? You know, like if I was the actual thunder god Thor.
Rob is Thor.
That's my handle on PlayStation. So I ended up finding some mods that made me pretty much invincible.
He's He-Man. He's like a...
It looks like He-Man because of the outfit. The outfit looks more like He-Man than Thor. But I found a mod that allowed me to use a lightning hammer that not only does it have, like, it kills everything in one shot, but it shoots lightning bolts down to the ground. Anytime I like leap and I land from a certain height, it crackles lightning and thunder around me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Every time I hit somebody with the hammer, you can hear thunder rolling through the clouds above you, which is really sick. And it also gives you like this leaping ability that like when you're running while holding it, you get like electric charged and you're able to jump extremely far and fast. And then another mod allowed me to have like a jetpack without a jetpack, so I'm able to like use AP to kind of like jet propulse myself for a certain distance. So I'm able to cover a lot of ground as him. And then I just like charge into situations and I can't get hurt, and I can also spawn any material or anything, so I don't have to necessarily farm. I still collect stuff, you know, I have the authentic gaming experience. I don't just plow through everything and just not collect anything. But I am plowing through the enemies for the lore. So I want to like get the lore of the story without having to like really worry about the combat aspect or the survival aspect.
So it required mods for you to really like the game.
Exactly.
But
so it's a heavily modded
that's not
game.
necessarily
but
a
I'm having
bad
my
thing
own
or
kind
criticism.
of fun with it. And let's face it, if they didn't want you to be able to play like that, they wouldn't make it available right from the fucking start screen of the game. Mods go hand in hand with these types of games. Even back when Skyrim first came out, there were mods to make lightsabers and shit. I think that is the charm to those kinds of games, is the player input into them, because, you know, as far as, you know, the game goes, it's a good game. You know, I'm enjoying particularly the Nick Valentine storyline, which is
Valentine.
He's if you don't know who he is, he's a synth or like a synthetic robot person. His mind was like that of an actual cop that lived in Boston before the bombs dropped.
Like a Dick Tracy.
A Dick Tracy kind of character. And it was basically scanned into a computer and then like uploaded to this robot as a full personality transfer. So it's a really deep story because the guy knows that he's not the original guy, but he has all this guy's memories, and like,
You can't let
you know,
it
he
go.
kind of struggles with like, am I real? Am I not? You know, like, am I really this guy? And like, you kind of like, you know, you convince him like, you're a person, you know, you have real friends and you've helped real people, so you are real. And
Nick Valentine's the best character.
I enjoy him, so that's why I kind of got a soft spot for the synths where I might not have otherwise. But I did some of the DLC with what was it, the island over there,
Far Harbor.
Far Harbor, yeah. So I did all those missions. That was a pretty good one. And I'm just having fun flying through the land as Thor and fucking everybody up. It's hysterical. And maybe I'll stream it. Maybe I'll show everybody the heavily modded game that I'm playing. And
Speaking of Hells is here. Hells has been putting
he's been
out
watching me, so that's what I was gonna say. Hells has been watching my my share plays of the game. So
yeah, and modding the chat. But he's been making some content himself with for Fallout, and it's catching on.
yeah,
Soon it's going to be the Hells broadcasts Fallout. That would be a great game to watch, definitely, for sure. I'm sure people would love seeing, because the way that you play it, you know, again, you're playing as like a magical He-Man, just going through a wasteland.
It's really funny because the haircut, like I was going for Thor,
The haircut is
but
the big
unless you
thing.
have the helmet, it doesn't really look like Thor. It looks like He-Man.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of He-Man too, so I'm fine with it.
Well, so a couple of things. So yeah, it kind of took the mods, which in a sense are almost, it's tough, you know, because my mindset is you should play the game once through with no cheats, no mods, you know, just play it as it is, pure, unadulterated, because, like, for instance, Skyrim was just such an incredible game. I mean, if Little Joe was here, like, we both just space
Maybe
out.
I'll make a Thor build for that. I don't know.
You
I
could
already
do that.
own
That's
the game. So
it's kind of like training wheels, but at the same point, like, if that's what it fucking takes you to actually
it's just
enjoy
so much
the
farming.
experience.
It takes so long, and I just don't want to dedicate that.
Well,
much
it's not even
time.
that much
But
farming.
I'm still playing a lot of the
It's
game.
gathering,
Like,
for sure.
I'm not like plowing through the game in the sense that like I'm not enjoying the story or like reading the stuff, and you know.
But you're getting through the lore, and that's the thing. You know, the TV show got you into the concept.
Because now I
And
have like
now-
the full concept. I didn't understand really what Fallout's world story was, and they really explain it very well in the beginning of Fallout 4. That it's
fucked up.
basically that after they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they decided to start using nuclear power to power, instead
For electricity
of
and for good.
electricity, for limitless power sources. So the American dream kind of progressed in a different way, and they kind of retained a lot of those 1940s, 1950s values and styles, even 60s. But I think it's more 50s, honestly, because it's more the cowboy stuff. The 60s was more like the space age stuff.
Well, there's multiple like aspects to the world of Fallout, because they have like that, 50s, 60s, like Chevy Americana, malted milkshake type of experience, Johnny Rockets type of experience. That's
but it
what
lasted longer, because ultimately when the bombs drop is the year 2077. So, look, now he's talking to him.
he's like, you gotta get up, man. But you also do have like that cowboy aspect of it, that Old West kind of cowboy aspect, for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
And the ghoul
is
very
directly
much,
that. He's the John Wayne of his universe, basically.
Right.
A very famous cowboy actor that kind of endorsed the whole Vault Tech thing because of his wife's influence.
Yeah.
And then you find out from the show, spoilers, that it was actually Vault Tech that initiated the bombings, and then China and United States.
Which cannot be said lightly, because that was never revealed in any of the games. Like there were games where I guess I don't really know which Fallout it was, but I guess like the idea was that it was open ended, that you never knew exactly who did it. But
and it makes a lot of sense though, because when you go through all of the vaults, they're very apathetic to the rest of the world, and they're all about their experiments, internally. Like when you go to Vault 111, or you go to Vault 88, or even the one where you start,
they're like, kill people, kill them. If people interfere, kill them. If it says like, do not listen to any commands that are not from Vault-Tec, even if it is the government or whatever it was. And I was like, wow, they're flexing their power. Yeah, I mean, you could tell from the beginning of Fallout 4, it starts with these people getting fucking unknowingly frozen, cryogenically frozen, and then you get out, everyone's dead except for you, and then you're looking at the computer logs, and it's like, telling you, like, yeah, the whole experiment is to freeze people without them knowing and see what happens. Like, they have all these crazy experiments. But what I wanted to get back to is, because you were talking about how you first played Oblivion, and that's like what started the whole relationship with Bethesda games. Do you remember in the very beginning of Oblivion, as every Elder or not Elder Scrolls, as every Elder Scrolls game starts,
where you start in the prison, right? With
you're always a prisoner of some sort in the beginning of every one of these games. So you start as the prisoner, and if you remember, there's a motherfucker across in the cell across from you, and he's like, "You're gonna die in here, you son of a bitch." He's like talking shit, and he's like, "Fuck you, you're gonna die." And it's like, I was like, "Fuck, who the fuck is this guy?" Like that was my introduction. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And then like all the shit happens, and then like the Emperor comes marching, and he's like, "We have to go," and you're like, "What?" And then like the Emperor gets assassinated by that cult you were talking about, and that kicks everything off. And like you start going, and like, again, I didn't know how these games work, but like you can't just, like in Grand Theft Auto, it's not like you kill somebody and like life goes on. Like you kill somebody in Oblivion, and like the whole village, like, like you have a wanted level, and you get attacked by the guards. And that was what happened to me too. I couldn't get any quests done because I had such a high bounty, because I just broke in and stole as much shit as I could. And I didn't want to lose any of that stuff. And I got such a high bounty, and I didn't know how to get rid of it without, you have to do multiple saves, but without resorting to a much earlier save. And
I will say that with this new Fallout, I don't know if it's always been like this, but there's a lot of auto saving as well.
Yeah,
and they have a backlog of auto saves as well on top of
helps.
your manual saves. So I think that
you just got a quick
save
though. You just like, usually they make it really easy. You just hit select or whatever. But anyway, I did end up going back, because like all I could think about was like, I want to kill that motherfucker that was in the cell talking shit. So I ended up like figuring out a way. I took the tunnel back into the prison cell, and I got all the way back to that motherfucker, and I like figured out a way to like go through a wall or something like that, and I killed that motherfucker. And it was like the best feeling in the world. I was like, fuck that guy. And then it ended up breaking the game like a year and a half later, because there was a quest line that you have to go and kill him. And since I already had killed him, I couldn't complete it, and I could never 100% the game. But I liked that because in those games, even in Fallout to a degree, you can kill essential characters. They've dialed that back in recent years where now they protect essential storyline characters that they are like unkillable.
Yeah.
There are mods that you can do to turn that off if you really want to kill somebody, but to protect the story, they prevent that. But like in Oblivion, you can kill people and like fuck up everything later on.
Okay.
The other thing about those games, all of them, Starfield, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, is it's all about like the factions, if you will. In Elder Scrolls, you always have the Thieves Guild, which you're stealing stuff, and there's an interesting story there of thieves.
I did the Thieves Guild in Skyrim.
Great story.
Go underneath that fucking
the cistern,
town and shit.
Yep. You're in like the sewers of
Exactly.
Riften.
Yeah, Rift.
The city it takes place.
That's right. I remember that name.
Yeah, so
I played an amount of the game. Like I did some shit. It was just it was getting old because like I had put so much time into it. I had the lady follow me at a house. I'd fucking she was holding shit for me, and she kept dying in the fucking village that I was trying to escape. Because it was, I'm telling you, there was some kind of mission where like you had to get this wizard to let you into this lab and like retrieve this thing for this other person. He would not give it to me.
This is
no matter
in
what.
Oblivion.
Yeah, no. This is in Skyrim, and he just wouldn't cooperate. I guess I didn't have enough charisma or whatever to like convince him in a conversation to help me. So I ended up killing him and taking the shit and going and getting the thing, and now the whole village wants me dead.
Yeah.
And like I every time I keep trying to get out of the village, either I die or the fucking follower dies. And it's like I'm trying to get us both out alive so I don't have to lose all my shit.
So here's the trick to that, if I may, because that was my challenge. Is everybody was attacking me and I didn't want to lose all my shit. This isn't Oblivion. I just threw all my shit on the ground. I went to a place, I chucked all my shit on the ground, and then I went back and I let them arrest me. And they arrested me and I fucking did the prison sentence or whatever. And then I got out and I went back to where I was and all the shit was still on the ground. And that's when I was like, this game is fucking awesome. Because like that was a rare thing, and especially at that time. Like normally in most games, if you like drop something, it disappears.
Shit will despawn, yeah.
That you drop a fucking rusty dagger in the bottom of a river, and if you go back there a year later, it's still there in those games. And that, I think, is just really
And I will say
cool.
that these new generation systems lend themselves better to these games, because I think that the games were a little too ambitious for a console. I think they were really meant more for a PC experience, because you need a stronger processor to run them and whatnot. So you have a lot of loading time, you have a lot of glitch issues and rendering issues. That's why it's so buggy, and why people laugh about like NPCs, walking up trees and shit. And I think that PlayStation 5 is great for the game because it's an older game. It's not going to be as demanding on the system, and you're able to basically render the entire world pretty quickly. The fast travel's pretty quick. I don't feel like I'm staring at fucking loading screens forever, which is something that I remember from the old days. I did actually try playing that game back in 2015. So I did play it like when it originally came out and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like vaguely familiar to me. And then I think Diamond City is actually where that's where I recognized. I think that was like the next place that I had gone. I went to that city. I saw the reporter and the mayor have that conversation in the front, and then I never took it any further. But had I kept going, I would have met Nick Valentine, and maybe that would have saved the game a little bit for me. Maybe if I
it's just funny because he's just one of many like characters that
I just like him a lot.
I did
personally.
too. Yeah, he's the fucking man.
A great character.
Yeah, and that guy, that voice actor that voices Nick Valentine, voices like a quarter of all the voices in Skyrim.
That's funny.
Literally, like he's one of the main NPC. There's multiple NPCs and essential characters, because there's only like 5 voice. Like there's like maybe 5 to 7 voices and voice actors in those games, and like you kind of hear.
And I will say the voice acting in those games was always very good. And it's really funny, some of the shit that like if you're just walking through like a sanctuary or whatever, like what people will just say randomly when you walk past them is really funny. You'd be like,
Do you get to the Cloud District often?
What was
Oh,
what was
who
the
am I
one?
kidding? Of
there
course
was,
not.
There was a guy standing at the booth, and he was just like, "Hear about that farm run by ghouls? It's something, ain't it?" I was hysterical. I was like, it's funny.
Martha, my name is Martha. Martha, Martha, my name is Martha.
That shit was funny. I give a credit to the show for getting me into a game that I had, abandoned 9 years ago.
Let me ask you this, because like I was saying, a big thing of those games is that they're factional. You had, like I was saying in Elder Scrolls, you have Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, which is the assassins. It's a darker kind of twist. And then you have like the fighters who are soldiers, the Fighters Guild, and you have the Mages Guild, which is the magicians, and a couple of other ones. And then in Fallout, you have the Brotherhood of Steel, you have the Minutemen, you have the agency. What are they? The
Institute.
The Institute. You have, who am I missing?
There's the Children of the Atom. There's the fucking.
Is that the cult?
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
There's Acadia, which is the city of the synths in Far Harbor. There's the railroad.
Did I say Brotherhood of Steel?
Yes. So
that was the funny thing about Fallout when I played it, the last generation before they remastered it or whatever, reported it. In the very beginning of the game, I did like 1 or 2 Brotherhood of Steel missions, and I was like, fuck these guys. I really don't like these guys, because they were like talking shit about synths, and I was already like, fuck it. Nick Valentine
sold the synths to me.
That's what I'm saying. Nick Valentine. And then these guys are like, there's
all
no
him.
place for any synths in our world. And I was like, well, Nick Valentine's my boy. He's literally standing there right next to me while you talk shit. And I was like, and he would even agree sometimes too. I feel like he's like, yeah, synths are fucked, So I ended up just killing all the Brotherhood of Steel. And it let me. I just killed them all. I literally, right in the beginning, never did any mission. I was like, I'm not doing fucking quests for these guys. Fuck you guys.
So have you done
Killed
the
them all.
Far Harbor quests? Have you ever done those?
No, I never got into Far Harbor. I downloaded it and never
If you
played
are
it.
a fan of Nick Valentine, you need to go over there, because the setup is that this family, husband and wife, hire Nick Valentine to find their daughter, who went to this Far Harbor place. She took like a boat and she went there all the way north, and they were concerned of what happened to her because she didn't say anything. She just left. Her grandfather was like a really tech savvy guy, and she adopted that. So she started thinking, because she doesn't fit in, that she thought she was a synth. So she goes and finds this city of synths called Acadia in Far Harbor, and she just goes off to go live with those people. So your quest is to take the family's boat to Far Harbor and find her. So you meet the people in the the immediate town. They after you do some favors for them, they send you off to Acadia to finally confront the girl. You meet Dima, which is another synth running the city, and he's actually kind of like the closest thing to a brother that Nick Valentine has, because he's one of 2 synths that were made specifically the way that he was made. And the first one, the experiment was to make the personality based on interactions with people. And then Nick Valentine's case was that they dumped somebody's actual memories into a synth, and it's a complete copy of a personality and memories and whatnot. Right. So that's what distinguished them apart. But what's crazy is you have to access the memory banks of this Demo guy, because he has so much knowledge, and that particular kind of synth can't store that much memory. So he had all these memory banks and stuff. And you actually can hear one of the holo tapes that it's when Nick Valentine first wakes up, and he's like, I'm not a synth. He's like, none of my family are those plastic whatever. He's resisting that, he thinks he's actually Nick Valentine, the human. And it's kind of heartbreaking, because he's struggling with it, and Like you don't see it, but you just hear it as a holotape. And like it really enriches like Valentine's story. You bond with him more, and ultimately
sold.
the whole
Quality time.
mission is to get this girl back. But it's just an example of how the game opens up so many other stories when you're just trying to accomplish. Like you think, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go and find this girl, and then I'm gonna come back, but you realize that like now I got to deal with this whole synth city and help all these people in this harbor. And if you help everybody at the harbor with all of their missions and stuff, they'll be more willing to listen to you and help you out and do whatever you want at the end of the whole mission.
That's
like
how it
whole
always has been in all of their games, man. It
comes like full circle because like, well, I help this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. So when this guy's trying to be a dick, it's like, well, no, they're gonna go with me because I'm the one that actually fucking helped everybody, and this guy always causes problems. So I think you should sink your teeth into that if you haven't played it yet.
Well, so my delay of why I haven't really played the re-release of Fallout is I am currently in the process of having my PC rebuilt. My dad insisted, actually. My dad has always built PCs. He's been into them his whole life. He has like a Lamborghini like PC, quality PC, but he like uses to like browse the web. Pretty much, he like doesn't even tap into it. He doesn't game at all. I'm like, I tried to tell him he should play Red Dead because he likes cowboy shit, but he just hasn't. I don't know. So it's like all this computing power is just squandered, but he just likes to have it because he loves building PCs.
It's like my dad. My dad loves cowboy shit, but he can never play Red Dead because he was getting shot and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he would be able to do it.
He doesn't have like the coordination to be able to, and he's,
a lot of people, like older people, don't get the two. They're like, more than one stick, two sticks. I can't handle.
He had Atari. It was like fucking. It
one
was
stick and two buttons. Yeah,
it was one button and a stick. It was it.
Yeah. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
But yeah, no, I've been playing the hell out of Fallout 4, almost borderline skirting my responsibilities to eke out more time. I was playing till 4 a.m. last night.
It does that to you. It draws you in, and the music and the lore.
Because like I just want to finish this storyline or whatever, and like the storyline goes on forever, and it's like fuck.
Oh, the PC. That's what I was saying. My dad's fucking upgrading your dad. You don't want to be like your dad,
Bosley.
Bosley, get Bosley hair. Hey, bro, get real. You really want to end up like your dad, bald and a fucking loser? You have to call us now. Get real, get Bosley. Bosley hair replacement.
We're not being paid by Bosley.
Your dad's a fucking loser. Call now and get $200 off with a fee QR code.
They play that during like fucking WWE.
Monday Night Raw. They play that. It's the fucking worst commercial ever, bro.
Horrible.
What are you doing? Do you want to end up like your dad? But no, my dad's upgrading my PC, and this thing is going to be able to land a fucking rover on a fucking surface of a moon. Like it's going to be super supercharged, man.
That's no moon.
It's going to be
a space station.
That's a space station. This thing is going to be a beast, and then I'm going to download. I want to play Fallout on there with mods because the mods on PC are better than they are on PlayStation. But Starfield is getting a 60 frame per second upgrade.
Okay, I mean I'm probably not going to play it again.
And they're adding some more. They're adding more stuff to Starfield. They're adding eventually they're going to add a car of some sort that you could just like.
I just look at it and I'm like.
I turned it on and I just played a little bit and I got sucked right back in.
I'm in the Fallout world.
Oh,
right now.
Yeah, of course.
And I will say this too. Another mod that I threw on there, which I think vastly improves the game, is it gives it nicer grass.
Oh, I did that. My favorite mod on Fallout was I kind of get tired of the wasteland and like just the desert
grass
and the brown.
Is very depressing.
Yes,
it was one of the main reasons why, which is childish, why I stopped playing. It was like I just feel so
depressing.
Dreary playing the game.
And look, it's realistic. I mean, in all reality, like that's what it would be
Fallout,
like. But at the same point, it gets very drab and dreary, and it's almost like going to the.
I didn't go nuts. Like there's also a mod that can actually clean up all of the sanctuaries.
Mm.
You can actually have like cleaned up sanctuaries, but I left it looking rough, and I put in the work, and I actually outfitted it with turrets all over the town, and unfortunately, with mods, what will happen is sometimes things won't be compatible or won't work. Like 3 different times, I set up the entire town with street lamps, and I would save, exit the game, and then come back in, and it will say certain items are not compatible.
Yes.
And the fucking street lamps are all gone. So
that's what
there's
happens
certain
when you
stuff
have a
that
lot of
doesn't
mods
happen.
on. Is the mods will get updates and then they break, and you can never play. You can't even go back and play it. It's the save is like killed. So that's something that you have to be prepared for. There may come a point where your save gets wiped from all those mods, because like if you change the order of them,
it's such a broken mod game too that I'm honestly, as long as I can finish the game before that happens, I'll be happy. I'll be fine, because I'm not the type of person that goes back and plays games once they finish them, and I'm being very careful with picking factions and completing the quest lines for them, because I don't want to end the game too soon. I have a lot of other shit going on.
That's what I wanted to ask you, is what faction do you most align yourself with?
So I'm not far enough in the game to have actually interacted with them yet, but I have heard the first mentions of them. I discussed this with Joe. I was like, who are kind of like the good guys in the game? Like, I kind of want to be with like the morally
The vanilla
right
good guys
people.
are the Minutemen.
So I did them. So I don't think the Minutemen are actually like a game-ending faction. Like, you can keep doing quests for them, but it's not going to trigger the end of the game. Joe said that the closest to the Minutemen would be the Railroad.
Yeah,
He said the
that's who
Railroad
it
would
was.
work
That was the
hand in hand with
faction I
the
forgot
Railroad.
before.
The Railroad are tolerant of the synths and that kind of stuff. So that's like, because
Right.
everybody else wants to destroy the synths. The fucking Brotherhood wants to kill them.
Well, but they might have good reason and good cause. I mean, we're very blinded by our love for Nick Valentine. When in reality, I mean, they went to, like, what was the origins of the, like, when they say the war where they fought with the power armor, like, were they fighting the synths? Who were they at war at? Like, where did the synths become a problem?
Well, the
that they're
synths were
worried about?
created by the Institute, and they were probably used to pacify the people and hold like true power over everybody. And they're like so beyond everybody that like the only way to get into the Institute is to teleport there. There is no entrance to the
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's ultimately your quest with Nick Valentine, is to figure out how to get into the Institute. And
he helps you, right?
he helps
Doesn't he,
you.
like, fucking
Correct.
go back into his memory or something?
Exactly. So you have to do some kind of puzzle shit to navigate his memories, and then
Valentine's the
you do
fucking
the
man.
same thing for the other guy, Dima in Far Harbor, which is a lot. It was. Let me tell you, I'm proud of myself for fucking completing them all, my own brain power. But that last one took me a while to figure out. So you have to solve these puzzles and use light refraction to take out these firewalls and whatnot. And you have to like align the beam with the specific square and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 5 levels of that shit. And the 5th level is like fucking, it's a huge room with the fucking beam shooting straight up in the middle of the fucking thing. And you have to divert it this way and that way and this way. Because there's like 5 different firewalls you have to beat. And it had to be like an hour to get just through that part. But once I got through it, it was like, that's how you get all the holotape shit. And that's how you find out about what happened with Nick Valentine's wake up and all that shit. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying it. I'll retract my hate for Fallout 4. I am enjoying it with the mods.
It may come a day where you start liking the Elder Scroll games.
I mean, if I finish this game and I feel ambitious and there's nothing else really out, I'll consider looking into. Can you install mods in Skyrim as easily as you can on?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I would just say do it on the PC, because you have access to better mods. PlayStation is limited. The way that it's coded, they can't have, I forget what it was, they can't add certain elements into PlayStation.
My only issue though with PC gaming is that if I want to play with the controller,
I play with the
PC
controller.
just does not work right with PlayStation or Xbox controller. I don't know why.
I mean, that's
I
weird.
was trying to play like Fortnite through the Epic Games app, and the controller just was not working at all. Either one, because I actually Bluetooth connected my PlayStation controller to the PC. I controlled, put the Xbox controller hardline to it, and I was still
Maybe
having
it's just
issues.
a bad micro USB cable.
And I
'cause
don't
that's
know what the hell the issue
common.
is, because it's like, what the fuck?
I have an
just trying to-
Astro C40 controller, so I actually got it for PlayStation 4, and then I'm able to use it on PS5 and my PC. It's a phenomenal like pro controller, and I never had any problems. I play everything on PC with my
Because
controller.
I've been
I hate
having
mouse and keyboard.
issues, and I know it sounds like a cop out and it's a joke, but I'm honestly having like lag issues with Fortnite running it through that capture card.
Yeah.
I play a hell of a lot better on my
'cause you're
television
doing it
because
with
there's no
that app.
lag. And it's running through the Elgato capture card. There's a latency issue or something with that. There's been a problem with that capture card since the start, because even with like trying to pass through to a television, it will not pass through to the TV.
With that Elgato capture card, you have to have a USB-C to USB-C connection, and you have to. I'm using the cable.
I've
that came
tried
with
that
it.
though. I took your advice.
That
I
fixed it,
tried
but
the
you
C to
also
C.
capture your game through that app or whatever, the Elgato app. Whereas,
Well, the reason why I have to do that is because it plays the game audio through the dedicated software, so I'm able to hear the game while I'm playing on my PC. So
but there's
I route all sound through my microphone, and then I
Right.
plug my headset into
the audio
the
is
microphone.
always the biggest fucking catch in having no latency with that. I had an issue with that, and I have my own
Everything's fine
convoluted
except
setup.
for the fucking slight like if I'm playing Fallout, it doesn't matter because it's not gonna. I'm not playing against other players in a
Yeah.
competitive.
Those games are kind of easy. You can third person like.
Sometimes I do third person because I switch around as the
Yeah.
character because of the outfits and whatnot.
Right.
when I
Sometimes
play-
you want
when
to
I
see 'em,
play
sometimes
with-
you need the first person view.
When I play with Nick Valentine, I rock a fedora and a suit because we're kind of doing like Dick Tracy shit.
Yeah.
And but when I'm like out and about and like just fighting raiders and shit, I'll switch back to the Grognak armor and fucking just be He-Man or Thor or whatever the fuck.
What are the green guys called again? Like the
The
ogres?
super mutants.
Is that they're mutants, right?
Yeah, they're super
Those
mutants.
guys are funny. They're like
Yeah.
orcs. They're pretty much like the
pretty much.
orcs of that.
And then
world.
there's even one called Strong that can become one of your companions.
Wait, he loves milk or something, right? Doesn't he?
He wants the milk of human kindness. That's exactly what he asks for.
That's what it
The
was.
milk of humankind. And what's really funny is when I travel
I used to
as
forget that guy.
Grognak armor Thor, and he's following me, it's like the adventures of Thor and Hulk.
Yeah.
Because he's like simple and funny, and that's like.
Yeah, I had that guy for a while too. He was funny, but Nick Valentine was usually my only follower.
Well, once I
and
got Nick, that was a sweep because I was
primary.
because I rocked Ada for a while too with the robot, and she's fucked up because you can put twin Fat Boy launchers on her shoulders, and like these like mini fucking nukes go off, like it just destroys everything.
Oh well, I mean with the mods too. See, that's a crazy thing. Is
Well,
now
you
with
can
this,
craft anything, so that's
Yeah, with this new PC, I'm gonna be able to drop like fucking 30 nukes at a time, and like it'll render. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't wait to
Oh,
see
it's
the
gonna be
chaos.
like-
It's like, it's
everything's gonna be destroyed.
It's gonna be hot sitting in front of the computer. Speaking of which, Stephen Bias, friend of the show, said, I ran off to PC exclusively a while back. I had always been a PC guy. Stopped playing on consoles after 2020. I am a master Bethesda guy. I have so many hours in Fallout 4, so that's awesome to hear. I can't wait to play it on the PC. I played it on Xbox, which I actually like PC.
Maybe I'll try it.
It has
on PC. I
better.
don't know.
It has better mods. You could do so much more. You like. There's just certain things you can't mods. They can't create on PlayStation.
I
'cause
just
of the way
like
that it's
sitting on
coded.
PlayStation on my TV.
Of course.
You know, that's the problem. Is like, yes, I have a powerful PC and it's going to play the
PlayStation
game
Party.
on the best settings, but I'm not going to get the best visual because my television's better than my fucking computer monitors. So unless I route my PC to my television,
That's what I have to consider doing because my our TV is so good that it's better. But my monitor
honestly
is
what
really
makes me
good,
not
too.
want to stream the game because like I don't want to look at it through a fucking computer monitor.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
I mean, I have a nice computer monitor that my girlfriend got me.
I don't hate it. It's not a bad
Christmases
one,
ago.
but it's just not to the level.
When you
that
get a new computer screen, it's just sometimes it's just better than a TV. Like I have the refresh rate and everything is like usually better than a TV can do. My HP Omen is my computer monitor, and when I got that, my ability to kill when we were playing Halo. When we used to play Halo, and I wish Joe was here because I would say this to his face, but I was good, but there was like something was off, and Joe, our friend, co-host on the show, would be in first place all the time. The moment I got that monitor, Joe was never in first place again in a game with me. I fucking was a monster in Halo because the refresh rate. He's not. And if he's listening, he's boiling right now. It's like, that's bullshit. No. There was, once I got that monitor, nobody could fucking touch me because I got so used to playing with that degree of latency that when it was removed and I had the technology that like there was no latency whatsoever, it was like I had superhuman powers at that point, and that's why I was really loving when we were playing Halo. I hope we could play that again at some point. But
I don't know about me because I just got rid of my Xbox Game Pass because Sea of Thieves came out on PlayStation, so I just never. And
nobody has played it yet except for us.
I never had a need for it again. I'm like, I got the game that I was keeping it for, and I was wasting $16 a month.
But you still have a
for something I wasn't even using it.
Your PC is the equivalent of a PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, easily.
Because it was made before PS5 was out, but it was
No, it was around the time I got
2020.
my PC
September
in 2020
is when you got it, around the same time as me. But and then shortly after PS5 came out.
It wasn't already out by 2020, or it came out in 2020?
No, I don't think it was, because I remember Vin built our PCs, and he said that this is going to be pretty much equivalent of a PS5.
What did you say? I had the 3090.
We had the same graphics card, but you had a slightly better processor. I could tell you what you had for any computer nerds out there that want to know the actual
I don't
hardware.
know these things. This is what I have Vin for, because he's.
Oh well,
he's
exactly. I
genius.
don't know either, but my dad has also been, again. We got like the best possible fucking thing you can put in a computer. So you have the AMD 3900X and the NVIDIA 2070 Super.
Okay.
Whereas I had the AMD 3900X and instead of the 2070 Super, I had the 2070 Super. No, I guess we did that. I had the 3700X. You had the 3900X CPU.
Okay.
But now, what I'm going to have, I guess for anybody that's actually a computer nerd that wants to know, I have the AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT. I have an 850 watt power supply now because he needed more. And what's the other thing you got? The AMD Ryzen 9 5900X. This thing's going to be able to land the rover on the moon, dude. I cannot wait to
So
try
what's the
this
first
out.
thing you're going to play on that once you get it?
I'm almost going to stop myself from playing Starfield because I'm not even going to get to fucking play it because I got to get breakfast in the morning with my fucking girlfriend. So I got to wait until way later in the day to play it. But, I know. I'm ungrateful, I guess. But I want to play it. I want to play it. You know what I mean? It's like having a fucking rocket ship and not being able to fly off to space. I'm going to stop myself from playing Starfield until the update, which is in another 5 days. I'm going to actually either play Halo or I'm going to play Cyberpunk. Because right now when I play Cyberpunk, there's like, good, great, insane. Like graphic settings pretty much, like presets. And I could play on good with a couple of like middle, if I could like raise up a couple of individual stats. Now I'm going to be able to play on insane.
Can I not play it on insane with what I have?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. You'd probably be the same.
Well, I guess
about
because
the
it's
same
a
as me.
4K game now, right? My system
Yes.
is not capable of 4K.
Yeah, it's 4K. I believe. I'm pretty sure it's 4K. Cyberpunk.
This is according to Vin. Like I said,
I mean, it looked insane with what my setup is now. It looks insane. It was one of the most like enveloping. Cyberpunk was really in my experience with Cyberpunk was phenomenal. It was very like the textures, the walls, everything looked super real. The only gripe I had about Cyberpunk is that the NPCs don't look that good. I feel like they don't really look like people. You know, like they kind of look like polygons still.
Very lacking.
But not even horrible. But
I feel like the Fallout 4 people look more real than the people.
The Elder Scrolls, I mean the Bethesda games have always been great with NPCs. They've always done a really good job at
I'm just saying, I feel like there's something lacking in Starfield. I feel like it feels a little empty.
I think people look pretty good on Starfield. Like no, you know how I judge it because like some games just make women look weird. They look like fucking I don't know, like
I feel like a lot
Jada
of the
Pinkett.
people just don't have a depth of character though in Starfield. Like Starfield didn't tell as impactful stories on the main characters.
No, they rushed it
as the other games. Like for instance, the lady with the blonde hair that like you first encounter.
Sarah?
I guess Sarah. I don't remember the names.
I went with
bad
Alejandra.
names.
I married Alejandra.
So I went with the blonde haired lady that you first meet at the fucking
the British chick.
Yeah, the British chick.
Even though Britain's dead at that point.
It's like her whole story was that like she was a soldier and then like her ship crashed and she was like marooned somewhere for a long time where like she had people that like crashed there and she made it but those people didn't and they died and like left this kid behind and then you take the kid in and I was like I don't know, this just feels like a weak story compared to like some of the other shit that I've seen in Fallout.
But that's just one of those people. I mean, I had Alejandra. She had a pretty cool story. She was a member of like the cult, like the religion. And what's funny is my character was too. It's like a thing that you could choose in the beginning of the game, like the people who follow the snake thing.
Oh, the snake people.
The snake
That's
people,
funny.
yeah. So my guy was a snake person too, and she was like, "I'm a member of a cult."
You
or
would
whatever.
pick the fucking snake people.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was. I was like, "What is this shit?" And then like
fucking slithering
it
over
would
here.
create unique dialogue options later on, though, in the game where like if somebody would say something, you would just be like, "I also speak the tongue." And you would say something that they would say, something. Yeah, exactly. I would just like, and then they'd be like, "Oh, you." So I ended up. She had a pretty cool story because, like, I forget exactly what it was, but I felt like her character was pretty good. I hated Sam Coe because he hated everything that I did. He would always complain about.
Oh, the cowboy guy.
The cowboy
with the
guy.
kid?
I had him get killed.
I would make him leave because I fucking can't stand his kid.
His kid was stuck on my ship. It was the game.
You told me
the
that.
kid
That's
was
right.
like, I fucking banished him to a fucking remote moon in the middle of nowhere where I created a settlement by accident. And I banished him there, and his fucking daughter was still flying on this ship. I'm like, get this fucking kid off of the ship. And you know what, though? It was funny because I was worried when he died, she would be stuck on my ship. But when he died, they finally fucking, the mom took her and got the daughter off the ship. I was like, thank God.
Oh,
I was
good.
like, I like...
So you killed Sam Coe?
Well, because I found out that with the story of the game in Starfield is eventually two of your two top favorite followers one of them will die.
Oh yeah,
and you're
I remember
presented
that.
with a choice to who you're gonna save, and like I didn't really hear exactly that. I just heard it hinted. So there's finally a mission where you choose to either go back to the station thing or go to the planet to like where their outpost was, and Sam Coe was on the station thing and she was on the planet, and I'm like, I'm going back there. And then he dies. So
they made me pick between the blonde-haired girl and I think what's the black guy's name that you become friends with right in the beginning of the game?
Oh, he was cool too.
I traveled with him for a while.
His name?
And then I went back, and then that's when I started romancing the blonde-haired girl.
Yeah, he started putting the moves on.
Well, that was it, and then
he was cool. That guy, I liked him. Hells is laughing about the snake comment.
But it was between the two of them, and I obviously picked the love interest.
Oh, he died. That
so he
sucks.
died, yeah.
But they always like become part of the story
But
because
then he
there's multiple
becomes like the
universes.
fucking he's
Yeah.
like the guy, the space guy or whatever.
Yeah. There's like the two. There's like the two like guys with the space helmets, the Starborn guys.
Exactly.
And one of them
Starborn.
is
Yeah,
like
you're good with the
fucking
names, I'm
creepy
not.
sounding, and the other one just sounds like the fucking guy from Grandma's Boy. You know what I'm talking about? There was like
Sit on
one.
my face.
He's like, get out of here. He had a fucking goofy voice. Stephen Bias said, Chris, my man, tell your father I got an AMD 7800 X3D and 7900 XTX. I had an NVIDIA card literally catch on fire. So this is so funny. I'll tell you about that. To that point, I'll say something. I had a card literally go on fire, so didn't go back. You will play right up near my settings. Can I make some suggestions? So, Steven, I had the option to get the 7800 X3D, and I was like, we went with, the fuck do I have again now? I have the 79, X, all right, I guess we have the same thing. You had the 7800. So, with the NVIDIA catching fire, that's so funny because my dad has mentioned that they've been catching on fire so many times to me. He's like, yeah, these fucking things are catching on fire. You know, like he'll laugh about it.
Christ.
He's like, yeah, they got like more pins, so they're supposed to be better. Like, I forget exactly what he said, like, because I'm a software guy, not a hardware guy. I think he said, like, yeah, they have more pins, like 16 pins, whereas this thing has 12 pins, but the ones with the 16 pins are setting on fire, so they don't know what to do. So he's like, so you're better off getting this one, and, yeah, that's so, dude, Steven, I've heard about these things catching on fire, and now I can tell my dad, I know somebody who literally told me he got one and it caught on fire. That's so funny.
That's terrifying. I wouldn't want my fucking.
That's a real thing, I guess.
Fuck that.
So, I'm guessing Steven's got a slightly better, but yeah, I mean, that's where I landed with them. It's definitely, all said and done, fucking racking up to be.
Hey, man, use it in health. Fuck yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, just,
It's like Christmas when you get like a new computer and like, yeah.
Just to give you an idea. That's just one part. That's just the GPU.
I put some money into my computer when I got it. Because don't forget, this was like the Wild West trying to get fucking parts. I might have put $2,500 into my computer. Something like that. Yeah, it was like, because then I got the two monitors, and I think that was, what are they, $250 a piece, the monitors? So it was like $500 a monitor.
I mean, monitors can get, they can get pricey.
And I think it was like, I don't know, $1,500 or $2,000 for the tower, something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, and then if Vin was here, he could definitely expound on this better than any of us because he actually is educated in this shit, and I'm kind of just learning from having the modules replaced out. It started where it's like, okay, well, I just want to upgrade the graphics card or the processor, and/or the processor, and then then my dad insisted, he's like, let me just get it. Let me just do it, and fucking you can pay me back. I'm like, okay. He really just wants to fucking upgrade this thing. So, but then it's like, well, then now you need more power supply because I had a 750 and you need an 850, which actually it turns out my dad took it out. He's like, it's a 550. It wasn't even a 750 watt. So I needed a higher power supply. And then you need more cooling because then you got that. And then it's like, well, then you should get more RAM. So I upgraded the 32 gigs of RAM. And then he, even today, he was like, oh, do you want to try to get more storage? I'm like, I don't need more storage.
I think I have 32 gigs of RAM on mine.
Nice. Yeah, that's, I currently had 16. I had two.
I didn't need
8s.
64. That was another option, but I was like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
especially at the time, 2020, 32 was more than enough.
You could always add more, and it's also like you're never going to even tap into it, And that's the thing is a lot of games still aren't even made 4K 60 frames per second.
That's why it's
anyway.
like until that becomes standardized, it's not worth upgrading my PC.
Yeah.
Like, can it run the greatest thing ever? Maybe not, but like I'm also not playing it that much to like warrant it. Mainly, what I use my PC for is streaming.
Right. Well, that's what
I
I'm.
use the
That's
dual
another
monitors
reason.
to throw my like stream stuff on one screen and my game on the other.
Yeah.
And then I have my webcam and I run the Streamlabs because Streamlabs only fucking works on a PC. Basically, it's like it sucks on a Mac, unfortunately. However they run the
audio.
software and stuff. Some sources aren't even available in the Mac version and shit. Like window capture and stuff fails a lot with with the Mac version and stuff. So I just
Permissions are an issue too.
yeah,
a lot.
it's all a pain in the ass. But I mean, I love my PC. I got a World of Warcraft build because it's the tower's World of Warcraft, but Vin built it for me, and he threw a little Thor Funko Pop that I had purchased in there for me.
I think he threw one in mine too. I actually got to ask my dad. I think he said he.
Well,
put
I had
something
asked
in
him
there.
to do that. I was like, "Can you put a Funko Pop in there for me?" Because he had the original one. He put Spider-Man hanging upside down in his, and I was like, "I'm gonna get Thor. I'm gonna put him in mine." So I got a Funko Pop of him, like with the hammer or whatnot. And he stuck him in there for me, and that's why I started calling the tower Mjolnir.
Hold up, sorry.
Mjolnir.
Hells.
What happened?
He's Hell said, "Bet Sweet's dad loves Micro Center," and that's exactly where he's like, "Yeah, Micro Center." That's where he got because they price matched everything for him. He showed me what the sticker showed was, and he's like, "Yeah, this is what it cost just to fuck with me," and I was like, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. They price matched it," and he's like a master of getting the price match, and apparently Micro Center price matches Amazon. So like anything, if there's a cheaper price, they'll, and it's legitimate, they'll price match it. So he loves Micro Center. You're absolutely right, Hells.
Is that like a store or
fucking
is it like
Stephen Bias and Hells are very in tune with the PC world. I guess it's a store. I've never been there myself. I order everything online or Newegg. Exactly. There's like a site that you can go to that will show you the price
too.
Newegg is good. There's a site that shows you the price on every website, like what something costs, and you can.
I think Newegg is how
usually,
Vin got my parts when he was trying to build it back in 2020.
Yeah, but they're also becoming more mainstream now. So, but yeah, Newegg is definitely that's where most of my parts were originally got at. But yeah,
one thing I do want to talk about the new X-Men cartoon. I know I've mentioned it before on the show, but my God, every week the fucking show just tops itself more and more. I've never been so excited to watch a cartoon since I was a kid. Every week I'm like foaming at the mouth for a Wednesday for them to air the next episode. Next episode is going to be the final episode of the season. I'm fairly certain it's going to be coming back because everybody's like tuning into this shit. Anybody that was a fan of the original show, they retain the same theme song from years ago. They retain the animation style. Most of the voice actors are back. Unfortunately, we lost the voice actors of Cyclops and Magneto. They both passed away. And a couple people have changed as well. But we've got Rogue and Beast and Storm and Wolverine. Some of the more recognizable voices from the show all came back. Jean Grey. And wow. Because it's like more adult than the original cartoon. The original cartoon obviously was, it was aired on Fox and shit, for little kids. This is more of a love letter for those kids that grew up, because you're seeing more like visceral, like death in the show than they ever had on the original cartoon. You see Wolverine like tearing into fucking people with his claws, where if you watch the original cartoon, he really used it as like a threatening device more than anything. Yeah.
Do they have blood squirting?
Yes. And it's like, I think it was, episode 5 has like a fucking, like its own version of the fucking Red Wedding. Wow. It's like insane, the shit that happens. Like, if you are an even like 1% fucking Marvel fan or X-Men fan, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching that show. It's like,
it's funny because
fantastic.
Usually in your relationship, you end up getting stuck watching the same shows together. And, there's a lot of shit that I love that my girlfriend doesn't watch, so you can only watch when she goes to sleep or something like that, And anyway, the other day she was just like, I forget what it was, but she was like, na 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 na. And I was like, you watch, like, that song? And she was like, and pretty much she's like, yeah, like I like, she was trying to say like, oh, you don't know that shit. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, and I realized that like we can watch it together, and she wants to watch it.
There are YouTube videos that you can watch to like kind of catch you up on everything that basically happened in the original series if you don't want to watch it.
I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it.
I think the quickest thing, so that you at least understand what the hell happened at the end of the original show, is you're gonna want to watch at least the last episode of the very original show, because the new one, X-Men 97, takes place a year after that original show ends. So
where can you watch it?
Disney Plus. Disney Plus has both series in their entirety. Some people shit on that last season of the original show. I thought it was entertaining. They had a flashback episode where Wolverine teams up with Captain America to take down the Red Skull, which was a pretty good episode. They give the history of the origin of Mr. Sinister and how he gets created and whatnot.
My introduction to that shit was the Juggernaut videos.
Oh yeah,
that was my
introduction.
It's
a Juggernaut, bitch.
You know, that was the funniest fucking thing in the world to me. I did
the very
too.
first time that I saw that, I was howling. You know how hysterical I get when I'm really laughing?
My older brother showed me, and we were like crying of laughter.
But I actually originally watched that show on Fox when I was a kid. Because don't forget, I got a couple of years on you.
Yeah.
But that was like
I had
a
no
mainstay
frame of reference
in my life.
You know?
So I remember the show, and then I just that's what prompted me to watch the dub. Was that I was a big fan of Juggernaut from the show and from the toy line and whatnot. And that was the funniest shit. It just became like a cult following.
Yeah.
And like I would quote that. I do that thing from beginning to end at one point. I don't know if I know it like that anymore, but
mustard.
There was
ketchup.
Ain't that a ketchup, motherfucker? Mustard.
This is a Dodge.
Are you a fucking ass?
Are you a fucking ass?
He must not know who I am. The
That's the best part.
I'm gonna hit you with your own pimp.
Oh my god, it was
Oh
classic.
no, and then fucking Gladiator shows up and he's like,
fuck,
is that Captain
Charles?
Planet? I think Captain Planet. I don't give a goddamn. The Juggernaut.
Yeah. You must not know. And he's like, oh, the Juggernaut's
like,
a bitch.
Caveman. And then he fucking punches him and he's like, what the fuck? And then he picks him up and throws him. He's like, yow. And he's like, put on the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah. That was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Greatest YouTube.
What the fuck,
Charles?
Charles?
Seen that shit? You've got to fucking.
You
go, boy,
You
boy.
Shut the fuck up, Charles.
Oh, he's fucking with my helmet. I got this shit in fuck right. Oh no.
Pimp slap your ass, bitch. Like your raincoat, bitch.
You can't run. Bitch is strong. Why the fuck is this shit falling?
Falling.
That was my favorite. You can't hurt me while I'm wearing these Jamaican colors.
Man, comb your beard. Comb your beard. That shit was so great.
I'm going to hit you with my pimp cane one way or another.
That was right. Hurry up and count the money before the Juggernaut gets, oh, it's the Juggernaut, bitch, and I got a bitch from me.
Oh, man.
Hurry up and count the money before the Juggernaut.
Terrible.
This shit's too great.
Can't you see how tight my outfit is?
And there was the other old guy, right? Wasn't there? Who was that?
It should be that a Laffy Taffy.
Yeah. Shit's been Laffy Taffy, motherfucker. I like, what's
this is a Dodge.
Not with my Jamaican colors.
My chest. My bloody chest. My outfit.
Those guys are good. I don't know. I wonder what happened to those guys.
God.
You know?
Where did those guys go? We need more of that.
You can't do shit like that because it's all copyright. You'll
it
get
breaks my
struck
heart because I
immediately.
fucking love that stuff so much. Like it's if I watched it today, I'd laugh as hard as the first time I ever watched it. 100%.
Yeah,
it gets me every time. But wow, that new show, man, it's sick. The references, the shit. The tie-ins, like the cameos that they've made, you really gotta fucking watch it.
I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
If Gina likes the X-Men, she's gonna fucking flip for this show.
Yeah, that was nice. It was like, oh, okay, cool. This is something we could watch together, so we could definitely just like.
And I gotta take a picture, and we gotta post it of my fucking '90s X-Men Marvel Legends collection that I got on the shelf right over there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Because I've always been an X-Men fan since I was a kid. It's one of the first comics I actually ever owned. I think it was See, I wasn't a big comic reader. I didn't like reading as a kid. And my mom worked at the public library and used to try to make me read. And my brother was a huge reader, but I didn't embrace reading until I got into middle school. And I had very few comic books of my own. I was more of a toys kid. And I remember distinctly going to a comic shop once with my brother. And he bought me an X-Men comic. And it was one of those ones that had like a holographic card attached to the front. Yeah, and it was a cool card because it was fucking Magneto like this with his hands out and like all the fucking like electric and shit. And it was like you moved it around and it kind of looked like he was like 3D like inside of it.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that's like one of the first comics I remember like getting. Like I went to a store and like this was bought for me because 90% of my comics were my brother's hand-me-downs. He used to get comics a lot in the 80s, so I had a lot of 80s Spider-Man comics and Superman and some Batman towards like the late 80s, early 90s, like when they did the death of Robin and all that kind of stuff. I had the Death of Superman comics because my brother had gotten those. And then I started getting into comics, I want to say maybe when I was around 11 or 12. And then I started really like tearing in. And I had finished all the comics that my brother owned. And I kind of started forming my tastes and whatnot. And I was always a big He-Man fan. And I was enjoying reading comics. And there really wasn't an available comic book of He-Man at the time. And it was hard to find the old issues from DC and Marvel and stuff. So I ended up starting to read Thor. I figured he was like kind of like a light character. He had a magical weapon and, you know, he's got he's extremely strong and flies around and whatever. So I started collecting his comics and enjoying them thoroughly. And there were these omnibus books that they were coming out with maybe like a decade or so ago, where it was the origin comics of like all the superheroes that you could buy. And they just didn't have any color on the pages, so they were affordable. So they probably throw like, I don't know, 20 comics or something together and bind them together in volumes. So I read like the first 5 or 6 volumes of Thor and Ghost Rider and Captain America and the Avengers and Spider-Man. And that's kind of like where I formed my knowledge of the original characters of Marvel. And then whatever characters I was interested in, I would just pick up trade paperbacks and stuff of some of like the newer stories of like Thor and Spider-Man and Venom and whoever I was into. Ghost Rider's another big one for me. Thing from the Fantastic Four is my number 2 after Thor. There's
wait, who's playing him in the movie?
The guy from The Bear. I don't know what else he was. He was in something else recently too. He's like the guy with the beard. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I mean, to his, the credit of the casting people, the Thing is canonically Jewish, so they casted a Jewish actor to play him, which only makes sense.
There you go. Circle. Do you remember when you were talking about like the printing? Look up lenticular printing. I can't put it on I didn't set it up beforehand, so I can't get it.
What is it?
It's like those types of images. They were really big in like the 2000s and like like the 90s and 2000s, where like when you move it, it looks like it's a moving image.
I got you.
Like it's textured. Like you could see here how it's
like if you swiped your fingers on it, was zip, zip, zip,
yeah, exactly. It was
it's like a little bumpy or something,
But it would like, and like I wonder whatever happened to lenticular printing. It's like.
I mean,
you don't know what I'm talking
dead.
about.
Everybody's looking at their phones now. People.
Well, that's what it is. There's no reason to. Yeah.
I think they found that in the 90s, card collecting was kind of in the decline because if you look at the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, baseball cards reigned for decades. They were a big thing, and then I feel like in our childhood, baseball cards just died. Like they still make them. There's still a collector's market for them, but as far as like a popular pastime that's widely accepted, there was like kind of a whole period from like maybe 1990 until 97 when or 96 when the Pokemon cards started coming out.
Yeah.
And then that was like the return of trading cards.
And it hasn't
and then Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon and all these other fucking things came out. And Magic
It hasn't gone away though, because like if you think about it, like Pokemon cards are still more valuable than NFTs, which were a scam. And I said they were a fucking scam. And I said it to Vin, and Vin denied it. Vin, I'm just trying to fucking rile you up because you're not here tonight. You might be listening, you son of a bitch. NFTs and crypto is a scam.
Well, they are, and if you had hopped on them at the time and sold, you could have made money.
Right.
Right. So it was like a kind of golden opportunity, small window kind of thing.
Shit is only
if you were
worth
smart
what
enough
people
to
are
like
willing to
throw
pay
a
for
shit
it.
ton in the beginning, sell it
Pump and
all
dump.
before it crashes, but then
Right.
like that's
all a
that's
pump
been,
and dump.
That's been the whole thing. And
There's
it
a
was
whole
good
pump
way
and
to-
dump masturbatory experience for them to fucking steal people's money. And it worked, and they were selling all kinds of NFTs, and there was so much grift. I mean, even companies like WWE was selling like a fucking $1,000 like Undertaker NFT or something for WrestleMania, and it was just all a grift. And the thing is, that shit's only going to be worth what people are willing to pay for it. But it is interesting that even though things like lenticular printing and certain print and collectibles have definitely died
I don't think print
off.
will ever die. And I was having this conversation with my brother
That's where I was going
earlier
with this.
today. Was like we were talking about like these bookstores and stuff like that. Like one day nobody will go there anymore. But then I'm like, even with my dad was saying like vinyl died and now everybody's buying vinyl again. I think that there's always going to be a need for the nostalgia factor and that tangible, real object, because I think we're going to be tilting into an age where people are going to be just as comfortable with the non-tangible and not real
Virtual reality type
mixed
shit.
in with what's actually real. And I think that the pendulum is going to swing from a anticipatory, I want more tech, to a point where it's like maybe the tech's gone a little too far and I kind of want to scale back and enjoy something, more what's going to be considered rustic, or reading an actual book. But
Well, it's not just
it's
that.
a different experience.
It's a rarity too, because like take this belt for instance. You have autographs on there from some awesome guys. Like there's no way to digitally autograph, and that's not even where I'm going though. The other thing is that being a physical item, it can degrade. It can be destroyed. It can be lost. There's a certain you have to preserve it and protect it. And the fact that something can remain in a good condition after so many years without much degradation or wear or whatever, that just creates a certain sort of
It's the oldest form of information in the history of man.
condition.
Books, written media, like physical, tangible writings. I don't think as a society we'll ever see that truly go away. I think that with the popularity of audiobooks and stuff like that, I think maybe we'll see more young people embracing that as opposed to, actually reading. And then, taking, for instance, like people that struggle with reading and they, have a disability like dyslexia or something like that. And they can, listen to the audiobooks. I think it's great that we have these options.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I love audiobooks.
I think that's the important thing, is that like just because one thing exists doesn't mean the other thing can't anymore. So I think that there's going to be a coexistence of the books and the audiobooks and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't think it's going to go away.
There was a certain experience because I read all of the Game of Thrones or the Song of Ice and Fire books, and it took me like a year, more than a year, to read. And it was like an undertaking. It felt like I was like doing something, and it was awesome. And I loved the reading experience because there's also terms that I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I would like touch and hold. And I like ebooks more than physical books because you could just touch on a word. It'll define it for you. Like if you don't know what a parapet is, you could just touch and hold. Oh, okay, that's what it is, and go back. And they have like these, interactive glossaries that you could just jump to the glossary, read what it is, and then jump back without having to fucking turn all the pages. I also hate holding a book open and then you let go and then it flops closed. I love ebooks, and that's how I did my Game of Thrones experience. Black background, white text, dark mode. But it took me over a year to get through it. Whereas, I could listen to these. I've now since listened to the Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire audiobooks hundreds of times
to those while you're doing something.
While you're doing other stuff, driving, chores, laying down. When I have a migraine, I can't watch TV, but I could listen. I go to bed and I listen to somebody's. I get a little bedtime story. My bedtime story is Game of Thrones, which is pretty fucking gruesome. And I hate referring to it as that when it's the Song of Ice and Fire, but I want to make sure
the
people
Lannisters send their regards. Good night.
Jamie Lannister sends his regards. No, I did wake up once to the Red Wedding. I woke up and I was like, I knew it was like fucking Catelyn was sitting at the table talking to Roose Bolton. And I was like, fuck. And it was just like, I'll go to sleep listening to fucking, sometimes I'll go to sleep listening to a chapter that's like really deep and I'm like, I'll tear up, but it's great. You could just lay there and listen and I'll find myself now, I don't really watch TV anymore. I listen to audiobooks. I'll just sit there. I'll do something I could space out. Maybe I'll play some GTA. It's the GTA Valet, and while I'm waiting at the podium there for 20 minutes.
I've watched more television lately than I have, historically.
Fallout was the first show that
it was Fallout. It was Shogun.
Shogun's still on the list.
X-Men.
Still on the list.
So there was like a few like hit shows that kind of hit at the same time, and I kind of got swept into them all because everybody was telling me, "Watch out, Fallout! Watch Fallout! Watch Fallout!" I had no interest. And then I saw that Walton Goggins was going to be in it. And I'm like, all right, well, Walton Goggins sold me on it.
Yeah.
And
he's great.
And the girl's cute. I enjoyed the show.
Yes.
And the fact that they did such a good job is it's like it almost justifies the quote unquote nerd rage because it's like, see, this is what we can have when you stick to the source material.
And I don't really think there was any negative reception to it. Like, I think everyone was pretty happy with the show. Like, I remember reading that the showrunner was like, we're going to make people unhappy, because we're not going to just try to stick to the games. And people were like, oh, what the fuck? That means they're going to do whatever they want, and it's going to be, whatever. And it was great. I mean, like, I really, I don't see how anyone could complain. It was just they
it added to the lore. It's its own separate story, so it's not taking away from, like, it's not pretending to be the game.
But the attention to not pretending, it just is. But, like, it is a very good mimicry of, like, the attention to detail to, like, the way that the vault doors open. It's just like the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, like, so
the
much
sounds,
of the stuff
all
is
the
the
stuff.
robots, the what's his name,
Cogsworth.
It's like they nailed all of it. Everything looks exactly like it looks in the game. They really didn't take any creative liberties.
The random crazy people and
the random, just the NPCs. Like, that was like all of them. Like, it was dead on. And
I
like,
have a more of a appreciation for it now that I've sunk my teeth deeper into the game.
You should rewatch it now that you've played the game because you'll see like her persuasion attempts where like they literally make it like the game where you're trying to show like it's the girl in the show. She's trying to like convince them, and they're like, "Nah, fuck you!" Like like it's just like how those games are. They nailed it. I really love that show. I really did.
The only way it would have been the cherry on top is if like they made like the level up sound after getting interaction.
Yeah, or the VAT system. It would be cool if they introduced the VAT system somehow because that's such a big part of Fallout. The fact that there's no VAT system.
The slow-mo death.
Yeah. Yeah, everything, just like the head exploding, the eyeballs. But, I mean, they did have the gore. I think that they had an equitable amount of gore and violence.
I love that gun that the ghoul had. That was awesome, blowing holes in everybody.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah. The rads,
but
the
man,
radiation.
I tell you, this Thor build is really, it's I'm having genuine fun with it.
Hey, if that's what it takes for you to enjoy a Bethesda game and eliminate some of the more clunkiness, because there is a degree of clunkiness, which is what I've always loved about those games. I've always liked the bugs because they add like sometimes when it's a game-breaking bug, that sucks, but normally you can load a save from earlier.
That was
and you're
another
fine.
game-ending bug for me, was the game that you love. I actually played the beta of Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, that was bad in the beginning.
The beta was so bugged that one of the first missions,
Nobody can get out the
you
door.
couldn't get out the door.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there was like a boulder and it wouldn't move, and like me and like 12 other players were standing there like.
I just remember there was a big door and you had to go through it, and it was just
classic
grayed
Bethesda,
out.
just letting people down.
Well, that was ZeniMax though. It wasn't even really Bethesda.
I didn't know.
They like licensed it out.
Because I just looked at it as fucking Elder Scrolls. It's all the fucking same. Like I played 3 Elder Scrolls games, didn't like them.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Well, and when I played Oblivion, and probably when you did, it was already an old game. It was right before Skyrim was
I
coming
had gotten
out.
it on the Xbox 360, so that's.
But like, have you ever seen videos of Oblivion where it's like just so clunky, where it's like a guy will stop and be like, "Greetings," and he'll talk to you for a second, and then like you go out of the conversation, and he's just like in a lava pit, like burning. Like, there's always shit like that. It's so buggy. But that's what makes it so funny, is like just the ridiculous shit that happens. You know,
What kind of reminds me of that is, have you ever watched the videos where people like are playing Red Dead 2 and they'll like throw a bomb and then fucking walk into the interaction and it goes off and you're like talking to the
they
people.
call it like
they're,
live cutscenes.
They're like burning.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see the one with Micah? I saw one like 3 days ago where they like, it's the end scene with Micah and they throw a dynamite. At the end of Red Dead 2, and Micah finally dies, they throw a dynamite and it goes into the cutscene and it blows up, and he like fucking, it's like a cartoon, like in fucking Looney Tunes when like they like look like his whole fucking like it's just skull and eyes, and then he like turns around and it falls on the ground.
Oh
I saw the burning one too. They call that, I think that's live cutscenes.
Yeah, because it's happening in the game.
It doesn't just like show you a film of
doesn't
something
cut
happening.
away. Yeah. But that shit's so funny to me. I don't know why. It's
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there was the one guy who like he had a wagon, an oil wagon, and he like shot a hole in it, and then drove it forward, so it like was leaving a trail of like fire, and then he lit the trail of fire behind him like 10 feet back, and then he drives it into the farmhouse, and the mission's ending, and like the guy's like thanks, and he's like talking to you, and it just like fucking. The whole explosive like wagon explodes in the cutscene.
Did you ever see the video with the guy that's standing in the back of the train and he lassos the guy?
Oh yeah.
And the guy's like,
help!
I need help!
Help! I need help!
Oh Lord!
yeah.
And then he just hits the fucking pole.
He was flying the guy like a kite.
That
Yeah.
shit. Oh
I've
my
done that,
God.
but the train doesn't go that fast in the real game.
Oh,
You drag
was
people. I've done that
crying.
before.
Oh my God. That
Yeah.
shit. It's sick, the things that you're able to do.
Oh well, I mean, Rockstar and apparently they're adding that gore engine in Red Dead, like the dismemberable limbs to GTA.
I'd love to work
6.
for Rockstar. That would be amazing.
That's like a dream for me. I applied to work there. I like made this beautiful resume that was styled in their aesthetic, and they just like all the roles that they have open are like legit. You know, a voice acting role would be cool. We could do that. A lot of their other like their engineering, they're smart people that work there. You know,
Be the understudy.
I would love to be part of a Grand Theft Auto. My hope is that maybe one day somebody at Rockstar will see the GTA Valet video and one of them and be like, "This guy's fucking nuts." And
Imagine they make you like the valet in the next game.
right? Well, I mean, you know,
It's not too late. GTA 6 hasn't hit yet.
It's true. They might need a
They can
casino
still put
there.
you in there.
Just another day in a life. I love making those videos though, and I love the positive reinforcement. It's nice when you get a laugh out of people, you know, and that I'm sure you could relate to that. Like, there's really few things that like when you do a funny voice and you do something funny and you
Imagine
get
if your
people to
valet
laugh.
guy becomes a character and then like El Bigote del Diablo becomes a character.
Oh my
That'd be
god,
amazing.
we'll make our stain.
I want El
out there.
Bigote del Diablo to become a fucking actual character.
It's great the characters that you can create in these games. You know, like I'm either a bard on Elder Scrolls with a bitch ex-wife, or I'm Rusty the Bum in GTA RP, or I'm the GTA Valet in regular GTA Online, or you know, like fucking you get to be El Bigote Diablo, fucking El Diablo from GTA, or
Well, El Bigote del Diablo, for those who don't know, that means the devil's mustache, and he's the devil in the game. That's like my character in GTA Online, and he's got like the Dia de los Muertos black and white like makeup on his face. He's got like red eyes, and he wears a white suit typically with a black shirt and a red tie. But I switch it up sometimes. It's always a suit and a fedora and shit. But we're gonna probably make some videos together, and I have a red
yeah.
fedora and red suit now
Oh, there you
to
go.
truly be the devil for the videos.
Yeah. We'll do a coin flip type of thing where we.
You're gonna have to
Bargain
teach
for
me
people's
again how to
souls.
do the emotes because I'm not good at that yet.
Oh, it's
and
easy.
then we'll
L3 and R3 at the same time.
yeah.
That's where sometimes I'll just throw money at people after I kill them, or I'll.
Can you quick
smoke a
assign
cigarette.
certain ones, or is it
Yes.
you just have to go through the whole thing?
No, it's interesting. You know, like how you can go to the menu on GTA. You go into the menu, you go to appearance, and then you go to like emote, and then you can change your emote there. But also, I found out that if you hold L3 and R3, which is what you do to emote, and then you hit L2 and R2, you don't even have to be in the menu, like the whole interaction menu where you cycle through them. You could just hold L3 and R3 and then hit L2 or R2 to cycle through all of the emotes. I discovered that recently.
That's insane.
So, yeah, we could definitely go through that, and we will make some more funny GTA content. And Vin, me and Vin had a great idea, too, where we were dressing up as cops. And people were enjoying those videos.
I got that SWAT outfit.
Yeah, we got to
So-
do more cop stuff on GTA because it's, it's
Bad boys, what you go?
exactly. We add that song to it, and
When the sheriff jump
Gun
come for you. Tell me
what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Yeah, it's perfect. You just put that song behind it, and then we're just, harassing
Whoop, whoop.
people on GTA. Exactly. Well, that's the other song. Whoop whoop! This is under the police.
Son of the police. Whoop,
That's the
whoop.
other one. It's good content. We have that. I mean, I
Sick.
guess the Fortnite's kind of waning a little bit now.
Yeah, well, Peter Griffin's not in the thing anymore. I'm not really enjoying it as much. I feel like the Star Wars content was a little let down. I thought there was going to be more. I was hoping that Darth Vader would have been available.
You know that they deactivated the Yoda backpack?
Yeah, so apparently
It was breaking
it was when people were doing the
split screen.
No. When people were doing the fucking scuttle from Zoidberg
Whoop,
Wow.
whoop, 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 whoop.
while having that backpack, it was crashing the game.
Wait, what do you mean Scuttle with Zoidberg?
It's an emote that you can buy in the store.
Can
There
you
goes-
get Zoidberg on Fortnite?
Not Zoidberg, but his scuttle, where his claw hands appear on your hands, and it goes whoop whoop. whoop
Are you
whoop, whoop.
serious?
I swear.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
I
game
have
has
I have
fucking
Bender
everything.
in that game.
Whoop,
so.
whoop, 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 whoop.
But yeah. So apparently doing that while wearing. But I think they should just do away with the fucking Zoidberg shit and keep Yoda.
Or just figure out a way to make it so that
Because Yoda
can
was
talk.
hysterical. He would
Oh,
giggle
yeah.
every time you'd
yeah.
splash the juice or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. Like it was getting me to play. And then like the last time I played, he was like not available. And I'm like,
Well,
hate
I
this.
bought that. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
Can't take that away from me, I don't think they deactivate it entirely. I think they just make it so he doesn't talk anymore.
well, no, it was grayed out. It was completely grayed
They'll
out.
probably bring it back though, I'm sure.
Like it still showed that I had it equipped, but like it wasn't like on his back and like.
They probably just got to figure out what they have to patch for that. We got a couple comments here. Issei Sil said, or is it Asa? Probably saying it like a fucking moron. Correct us, Sil. Let us know. I keep saying I'm just going to say Sil.
Asa?
The thing in the upcoming movie, I think, is Eben Moss Bachrach. I don't know if you know what that is.
Well, they're saying the name of the actor, I think.
Oh, The Thing. That's
Yeah,
the name of the
remember?
guy.
Yeah.
Hell said that VHS is never coming back. Sheesh. VHS. You know what's funny? Like just a little story about VHS. Jeez, I'm just like an old man here. But if you remember
Back in my day.
back in our day, with the VCR, or a certain type of VCR at least, like a good one, you could record over anything. Like you could record tape over anything else, right?
Yeah.
And you can copy tapes pretty easily. So what people used to do, my friend's dad would just rent VHSs from Blockbuster, and then he would copy them, and then he had it himself.
Yeah.
So then,
Well, there was a trick to that.
so what they
So they would-
implemented.
they
hold
would-
on. Let me set the stage. There was a little
The tab.
divot that they put like a little hole almost in the tape so that you couldn't do it.
Well, no, if you break, so the ones that you can record had a little piece there. It was a little piece of plastic,
Right.
and if you broke that and made the hole open, then that made it that you couldn't record on that tape anymore.
But all you had to do was put a piece of tape over it.
So that's you would put a piece of tape on it,
and then you were able to record it.
But that was like what you would do if you didn't want to record over like an important tape. You would break that thing off.
The tab, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But they would do that to prevent copyright infringement.
Oh,
and you could just. My friend's dad was like, "Yeah, well, look, you just put the piece of tape over it, and then it worked, and you were able to copy."
Yeah, that was an old. Yep.
So I mean, it will never come back because it was too easy to copy, I guess. And also, when a tape got fucked up, that was, when all the actual tape inside.
Oh
of it
yeah,
came
it would
out,
start getting fuzzy and shit.
That
Like
was
the Dick
fucked.
Tracy movie got like that on me. Roger Rabbit got like that.
But it looks so cool too, though. Like
It's nostalgic, is really what it is. But who the fuck misses rewinding tapes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, please be kind and rewind, Christ. No bother said. Anyone know when Eternal Con is?
I don't think Eternal Con is happening this year.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like Dragon Con's the big one that you like. Besides.
Yeah, that's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Huh. Yeah, I remember you. Didn't you go to? Don't you normally do Eternal Con?
Yeah, that was last year. Doesn't look like they're doing it this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
No bother also asked, "What are your thoughts on Mega 64?" I don't know what that is. So
I don't know what that is either.
Fill us in. Still says GTA Valet videos are awesome. Appreciate that. And Stephen Bias said, when you get your PC, Chris, I hope you like Red Dead Redemption. If that's one you have cranked all the way up, that's an idea because I mean, I love Rockstar games, and my thing is like once I beat them, I never replay them. I mean, like I've replayed GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. But I think GTA 4 was the best story. I never really replayed that. GTA 5.
I feel like it would be too sad to replay Red Dead Redemption 2 because then you got to watch Arthur Morgan die again.
I started replaying it on PS5 actually, and I just so that I could, because I had to go to a place so that I could commit a mass atrocity and kill a bunch of NPCs. But that is an idea. I mean, Red Dead is such a beautiful game. Jeez.
It does look really
good. But I like playing online. My thing with the Rockstar games, I once I beat the story, I really mostly play online. I love the chaos that can happen in not just GTA, but Red Dead.
Online in a long fucking
It's still fun. I mean, I jumped on, I fucking ran up on a guy, I hog-tied him, I doused him in moonshine gasoline, I set him on fire. And
I need help!
I need help!
Oh, yeah!
Do you ever see in Red Dead, there's like a clip, and it's like how realistic the game is? Like, a guy, I think he like he lassos a guy that's on a horse who like trips and falls, and like as he's falling, the shotgun, like he's holding a shotgun that he's pointing at you, and it turns and he fucking hits the trigger and like blows his own head off.
Jesus.
Like just from being lassoed. Like it was just like this ridiculous. It was almost like in Pulp Fiction when the guy in the back of the car gets shot.
You gotta have an opinion.
It was like that, yeah. So that's a good idea, Steven. I mean, Red Dead maybe. I don't normally replay the stories because they're so heavy. I mean, replaying Red Dead 2 story, like it's such an enveloping game and a time commitment, and it is heavy. Knowing everything that happens, it's like, I don't know if I could go through that again. Yeah, well, all right, yeah,
easy, girl.
I suppose, Dutch.
Have a little goddamn faith, Arthur.
Oh, and then still correct us. Either works, whether you're saying so yes to both. But what is it really? A-H, sa, or A-Y, sa? We want to know.
Well, there was Asa Buchanan, which was a character on my mother's soap opera when I was a kid. I never forgot that name because it was Asa Buchanan. How the fuck do you forget that?
That's in it. What was her soap opera of choice?
Well, there was two of them. I always got them mixed up. One was One Life to Live, and the other one was All My Children.
Yep, those were my mom's. She loved that shit.
She used to watch General Hospital before I was born, but stopped.
Yeah, my mom, I don't think I ever really did.
I think before that, like As the World Turns and Days of Our Lives, I don't know if she watched Dallas or any of that shit.
There's really no, there are no soap operas nowadays. Like that doesn't work.
Are they not around anymore?
Now it's in the form of a reality TV show like Vanderpump Rules, where you have these, fucking.
Oh, so like One Life to Live and All My Children Are Over. They don't still
Unless
run
I
those?
could be wrong. If they still exist, I don't know any housewives or anybody that's actually still watching them.
Yeah, no. I mean, my mother
know?
was. I don't think she was even watching them by the end anymore. So I don't know if they ended
That
them.
format
or
just
whatnot.
doesn't really work. I mean, even sitcoms nowadays, you know, with like
'Cause
an
even
audience.
Susan Lucci fucking retired, and I was like, damn, 'cause she was on that show from when it started.
Yeah. Well, the world's gonna keep changing around us, but you could always expect us to be your
Source of
stability.
entertainment for late night Fridays.
Exactly, and your stability in the world, because we'll keep doing these Friday night streams. We are gonna bring more content to the channel.
Will never retire.
I'll never retire. I will not stop until I die in this ring. We got some more content coming later this week. I'm gonna try this weekend to maybe do another GTA Valet stream.
Help.
Just to set the right expectations. It's a slow roll, you know, it's a slow burn because it could take like 25, 30 minutes between kills. I'm sitting there at the podium for a while, just sitting and waiting. You know what I mean? And like, that's it. So just to set the right expectations. But we did do a stream the other day. We had a lot of good kills on there, so I'm looking forward to that. Rob is, of course, still doing the Wednesday night WTF. Great name.
That was my call.
Wednesday team Fortnite.
Yeah.
But it only, I guess it doesn't apply unless it's only Fortnite. But you guys have played like Evil Dead and some other stuff.
Well, Evil West, I've been
West.
playing with Nux for like a long time now, and we just keep putting it off and putting it off. But we only have 2 chapters left, and we're almost done. We played a bunch of 2-player games together, and that's kind of like our shtick. We played It Takes Two. We played A Way Out, which was actually made by the same studio. And we played, what the hell else? We tried Toe Jam and Earl, and that was fucking terrible. We ended up deleting it.
It's like the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard, my God.
We
I
have
saw
to
that
do
in the
more,
store, and I
Sea of
had to FaceTime you from Blast from the Past.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, I wonder if it's it.
Should just get it just as a prop. But
Well, I have
you have it over there. We have to play more Sea of Thieves. Fucking Vin! Get on Sea of Thieves, damn it!
Help!
He finally beat Final Fantasy, so now...
Well, now he's
we
playing
have no-
Fallout, so it's over.
So there you go. That's it's gonna be humana.
Sea of Thieves is always going to be there. I'm glad I pre-ordered it.
But that's
I
how
have all the
everybody
shit.
looks at it, and then we never play it.
We always come back to it.
We
I've been coming back to that game since fucking 2020 when Vin built my fucking PC. So I have
but
full
now we have
confidence
the
that we're gonna
opportunity
be
to
going
finally
back to it.
play with Joe and Oler and Yao and whoever else.
Or we can
wants to
screen
join.
share and show our friends. Like it's going to be great. But
Yeah.
I'm very happy that it's on PlayStation. And I haven't played it on a console ever because I've always played it with keyboard and mouse. So having the controller is a different experience. But I got pretty used to it. I wasn't
It's-
playing terribly with the
It's good
controller.
with the controller. It's
I
good.
feel like you move a little faster on the computer, but whatever.
You said Rob said, oh, so it's Asa, I guess.
Awesome.
Did you say he said Rob said it the right way?
So Asa?
Well, what did you say? Buchanan.
Asa Buchanan.
Oh, it's Asa. Oh, okay.
Asa.
So I guess it's Asa. AY or AH? We need to know. I guess it's AY. Well, shit. You know what? We've been going for a while. It's I'm glad that we did this, even if it was just the 2 of us. We do plan on getting all the boys back together. You know, obviously trying to do this every fucking Friday for the past 3 years is, you know, it's a commitment. So
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and fucking it's not always easy. Car problems and whatnot. So we will get everyone together in some format or another. But take us home, Yoko.
All right, guys. This has been the Break Room Podcast. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in tonight. If you're new to the show and you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button and that notification button so you know when we're going live. We will be back next Friday with another riveting episode of the Break Room Podcast. Oh, yeah. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh, Joe!
Oh, Titus
my
O'Neil.
God, your kicking table and the computer just shook. But no one was mad that you cut the whole You go anywhere.
What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the macho madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
Dallas.
Stupid.
What did when that's like part of my Christmas